Hello, Curios. Do y'all remember being in elementary school and being out with your friends and sharing everything, a little recess, some of your secrets, maybe some of your school lunch? Now, could you imagine that same best friend that you never thought would ever grow from you doesn't come to school one day, 2 days, a week, 2 weeks? And then suddenly everyone in town is saying, your friend will never be coming back to school because, you know, they won't be ever coming back to life again.
Well,
Yeah. What would you do in that situation? So, for tonight's tale, we're going to throw Oreo Jr. back there where it's safe. And we're going to gather up our short, our 30 chilling tales, short and shivery. And tonight we're going to be reading The Ghostly Little Girl. As always, guys, y'all know here on the Curio Storyteller, we love to take stories from yesterday. We cosplay a little bit, some of the characters. Then we have a little discussion about what they could have did better, what we learned from the story, or what we would say to them. Are you guys ready to get started? Scott, are
I'm
you
ready.
ready to get started?
I'm ready.
Well, let's get going, guys. Near the turn of the century, in the seacoast town of Monterey, California, lived a widowed fisherman, Richard Coulter, and his young daughter, Maria. Their home was a weather beaten shack of boards with a tin roof on the shore some distance from town. Maria was a pretty but strong willed little girl. Okay, go off, girl. Her father worked hard, fishing for sardines, salmon, cod, tuna, and yellowtail in Monterey Bay and the Pacific Ocean, just beyond, so that Maria could go to the Catholic school in town. She was very popular with the other girls who were pupils there. There were a few parents who did not approve of someone whose father was so poor. Well, damn, that's sad. Do better, people.
So it was a Catholic school, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't Jesus poor?
Scott, these people ain't trying to hear that. Okay, sorry, y'all. That's Sunday Fun Day School. Don't listen to Scott. He's crazy. Anyway, Maria's closest friends were Annie Kelly, Susan Cook, and Catherine Hopper. In the early spring, Maria was absent for school for several days. Her three friends asked their teacher about it, but were only told that Maria and her father had sailed out of Monterey Bay 3 days before. Ain't nobody gonna go look for them. Okay. So everybody knows that they ain't gonna do. We just gonna okay. Their boat had last been seen by another fisherman around noon beyond Point Lobos. But I saw her this morning on my way to school, Annie Kelly told Susan Cook and Catherine Hopper. She was standing across the street watching me. I waved at her, but she didn't wave back. I don't think she saw me because she ran right after that. I didn't see her again. Hmm. But once again, Maria's desk at school was empty. As her three friends walked home, they talked about her absence. Maybe her father is sick and she has to take care of him, Annie suggested. Girl, y'all are in elementary school. Like, what? Maybe she got sick herself, Susan said. Maybe she was starting to come to school today and had to go home. I think we should go and see what happened to her, said Catherine decisively. Oh, now y'all feeling it? They missing a friend.
Mhm.
That's sad. The girls knew their friend lived with her father in the shanty outside of Monterey. They decided to pay a visit as soon as school was over. But it was a long walk, and they took their time poking along the beach. It was very late in the day when far down along the shore they could see a single cabin. the back of which was built on stilts that extended down into the water. Okay, girl, y'all living on a houseboat. I bet that's Maria's house, said Annie. I hope so, said Susan, because it's getting pretty late. I'll be in trouble if I don't get home by supper. Hell, why ain't nobody looking for nobody around here? Y'all just let people getting lost? What is going on here, y'all? Anyway, sorry. Maybe we shouldn't go, said Annie. I don't see any lights. Don't be silly, said Catherine impatiently. We come this far. But it's getting awful late, said Susan. I just want to see how Maria's doing. Then we can go right home. Okay, let's paint this scene real quick, just in case y'all just now coming in. We are out on the outskirts of town with a house that is abandoned or dilapidated or whatever. It's half in the water, half out. It's getting dark, and you don't know who's in this house, who done it, where they did it at, like what is going on. My question to everybody is, what would y'all do? Would y'all stay or go? Would y'all still go knock? What would y'all do? Scott, what would you do?
Go.
Okay, you brave, because I would have left, but that's just me. By the time they reached the rundown shack, a thick, wet evening fog had crept in, heavy with the tang of salt. Walking softly and whispering to each other, the three friends climbed the stairs to the rickety front porch. It was piled high with rotten fish nets, rusted crabbing cages, buckets, and odd bits of rope and canvas. Around the corner of the house, they could see a little pier, but no boat was tied to it. Everything was quiet except for the roar of the waves hitting the shore. I don't think there's anyone home. Let's go, urged Annie, as the haunting call of the seagulls cut through the foggy air. Girl, them seagulls are about to go home where y'all should be, but okay, girl. The mist was swirling so thickly around them that they would no longer see the distant roofs of Monterey. Tentacles of fog were tangled in the live oaks and pines far up the hillside. What a way to describe it, honey. Don't be a ninny, hissed Catherine. Boldly, she knocked 1, 2, 3 times on the door. When there was no response, she pounded on the door even louder. Let's look through the window, suggested Susan. This seemed to be a good idea since clearly no one was coming to answer the door. Tiptoeing to the nearest window, the girls peeked in and past the raggedy curtains. Ooh, girl. At first, all they saw was an empty room with a few sad pieces of furniture scattered around. An unlit kerosene lantern stood in the middle of a wooded table. Opposite the window was a single closed door. Suddenly, a strange glow began to seep under the closed door. Then the door opened slowly, and they could see Maria Coulter framed in the glow of the unearthly light. She was standing upright, but her eyes were closed as if she was in a deep sleep. Okay, girl, maybe she's sleepwalking. Okay.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Without a sound, the girl, like a sleepwalker, crossed the room. A moment later, the three friends on the porch heard the cabin front door unlocked with a loud click, then pulled open with a squeal because the damp had swollen the wood. Would y'all go in that house? If your friend, because that's what we looking for, just all of a sudden showed up to the door, just bathed in an eerie, haunting, like, would y'all go in? Scott, would you go in?
I don't know.
Okay, I would have been home. I would have been home. But let's see what we doing here. Let's see. Annie, Susan, and Catherine looked at each other for a moment. Then they went to the open door and peered through. The room inside was empty again, with only a faint silver gray light coming through the streaked windows. The door in the far wall was closed, though they could still see the line of curious light underneath it. Girl, Their friend had vanished. She must have gone back into the other room, said Susan. Girl, what? Okay, girl. Why is she playing tricks on us? Asked Annie. I don't think we should stay here anymore. Girl, me either. I didn't think y'all should have went in there, but look at y'all. Y'all all brave and foolish. Okay. But Catherine walked bravely into the room and yelled, Maria, we just want to say hello. You can come out. She was reaching for the knob of the closed door when something stopped her. There was a smell of salt water so strong that they could almost taste the salt. The odor of fish was strong enough to make Susan hold her nose. The roar of the ocean filled the room as though it was circling the house inside. Catherine, Annie said, her voice a little more than a squeak. Look, the door. Water was beginning to seep under the door, soaking the worn carpet. The three girls stepped back, afraid to let it touch their toes. Girl, what is this? Noah's Ark? What's going on? Abruptly, they were startled by a crash like a huge wave hitting the other side of the door. It amazed them that the door hadn't splintered from the impact. A moment later, a second blow shuttered the door. The three friends just gaped, too frightened to move. In the silence that followed, broken only by the gurgle of the water still seeping under the door, they heard a ghostly voice from the other side of the door. It sounded like someone calling from underwater. Catherine, it called. Annie, Susan, I knew you'd come looking for me. I'll be with you in just a minute. There was a last boom against the door. Then a deep silence fell over the room that smelled of fish and salt and seaweed. Girl, what seaweed smell like? Scott, what seaweed? What does seaweed smell like?
The sea.
I don't know about all that, but okay.
Like fishy and
Scott, how many times have you smelled seaweed?
all the time.
Don't believe that, y'all. Okay. The door began to open. There was silver light all around it. The puddle of water on the floor looked like a tide pool in the moonlight. They saw a little girl's hand, pale as whitefish, wet and wrinkled as something that has lain in the water too long. Terrified, the three girls ran from the shack as fast as they could out into the thick, wet fog. Y'all better be happy y'all was near the door. That's all I got. They didn't stop running until they were back in their own neighborhood. There, while they caught their breath, they tried to make some sense of their frightening experience. Had Maria been playing a trick on them? Like, girl, what? Y'all done seen a whole... Girl, okay. Anyway. If so, why? Girl, yeah, exactly. Anyway, I'm sorry, let me get to this. But that didn't explain the strange light and the sound and smell of the ocean inside the house or the crash of waves against the closed door. Finally, confused and frightened, the girls decided to tell their parents what they had seen. Okay. It was Catherine's father who told them. Richard Coulter's boat sank 3 days ago. They found his body washed ashore near Point Lobos. His little girl Maria drowned with him, but they hadn't found her body yet.
Oh,
Y'all think that was her body them little girls had seen? Well, that's the end, y'all.
oh,
That's the end.
wow.
They seen a ghost. I'm scared. Okay, but y'all know how we end these things, y'all. What stood out to you? What lessons did you learn? If you could talk to any of the characters in this book, what would you say to them? You guys put it in the comment section. Scott gets the wonderful pleasure of closing his eyes, putting his hands on his eyelids, and thinking deep, honey. Okay. So he needs to think deep and tell us who would you talk to? What lessons did you learn and or,
Tell those girls, use a phone.
Okay, period. I don't it was the turn of the century. I don't know if they had phones at that time.
Well, try smoke signals.
Period. Carrier pigeon, something, girl. Yes. A letter. From my point of view, what I would tell these people is, honey, if y'all are children, call the police, honey. Just call the police and send them over. Do a wellness check over there. You ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to look at unalive bodies and all this old craziness. We don't have to do that. We have the police for that. Period.
All right.
Yes. Okay, guys. Well, with that, we're going to end it here. Now, you know how these things end. We're going to end this live and then we'll be back with the picture of Dorian Gray, honey. We got to get into the shenanigans of it all. But we're going to bid you guys adieu on this one. Let me grab Oreo Jr. Look, his hair didn't turn white. He got so scared. Anyway, yeah, scary. Okay, well. As always, guys, we totally enjoyed having you guys here with us, and hopefully you guys enjoyed hanging out with us. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, check out some other videos, lives, shorts, all that fun stuff. Honey, come to this channel. You make yourself at home, grab a snack, check out a good video, all that fun stuff. And with that, we're going to bid you guys adieu. So from wherever we are, even if we are doing a wellness check without calling the police on our friend whose body came from the ocean into a room to, I guess, play a trick on us, to wherever you guys are, peace, love, and happiness. And we'll see you guys later. But what that means is 30 minutes because I got to get set up for the picture of Dorian Gray. But anyway, we'll see you guys a little later. 30 minutes, but y'all know how my 30 minutes is. Anyway, bye, y'all.